What's going on, guys? This is the exact ad strategy that made my client $56,000 in 32 days in the month of March, with a little bit, over $1,200 in ad spend. So I'm RJ. If you didn't see that last video, I break down everything from the funnel to the ad strategy to the ads, um, to the nurturing process to the sales best practices, all in that other video. If you didn't see it, go check it out. I'll have it linked down in the description as well. So let's get right into it. So you want to start out with as many ads as possible, okay? Especially with this new Andromeda update. Creatives matter more now than ever, okay? So we started out with 20 creatives, right? And the ultimate goal here, you want to, obviously make money, right? So let's break it down a little bit more than that. It's a little bit more complex than that, right? So I like to start out with 4 different ad angles. Okay, so you have your different ad angles. Each ad angle is a different piece of messaging, okay, or a different variation of one another. Okay, so once you have the different messaging, you want to find a winning creative. Okay, and once you have that winning creative, you get to scale. That's a fun part of all this, right? So like I said, I like to have 4 different angles. Okay, and you want to drive them all to the same landing page, whether that's your funnel, um, webinar, whatever you want to get into, child's funnel, whatever. I did to reiterate, I did break this down and why we chose a VSL funnel in my last video. But anyway, obviously you want to make more money. Okay, now let's break it down even more and take a step back. So how would you actually get correct messaging, RJ? Well, obviously, if you don't know, you got to do your market research. You got to know who the people you sell to are, right? Your ICP or your client avatar, there's a bunch of different ways of saying it, right? So you want to get your Jimmy, what I like to call you Jimmy, okay? So you want to break it down. There's a bunch of ways of doing this. You could ask, them questions. You could ask your client that you newly brought on, who they sell to, and maybe you want to do both. It's probably better to do both. As much information as you want to get on, your Jimmy or your client avatar as possible. The better you're going to understand them, right? So, a couple questions I, like to ask: what drives them to buy, right? What keeps them up at night? Are they rich demographic? Are they poor demographic? Do they talk more like a college student? Do they talk more like a sophisticated adult with a 9 to 5? Are they recently divorced? Are they single? Do they have a family? Do they have kids? Do they have boys? Do they have girls? Right? Do they prefer one way of doing things over another? Right? You want to know and ask yourself a bunch of different these things because in these videos, it's going to differentiate how you talk, how you present yourself, what's in the background. What color's your shirt? Are you wearing glasses? Or are you going to have a girl in the video? Are you going to be? Is it going to be you as a dude? You know what I mean? So all these things matter, especially with the targeting inside Meta, right? And all the data points they have on you and everybody, right? It's insane amount, data points, right? So you got to think about all these different things when you make creatives, right? Now, don't overthink it. Just get the data, do the market research, and just make creatives from that data and that information. Okay. So once you get your Jimmy, right, your ideal client avatar, right, your ICP, you have the different angles, you have the different messaging, you have all the information, right? To reiterate, you want the different messaging. You're gonna find different winning creatives from all those information that you make. Okay, and from the winning creatives, you're gonna scale the hell out of them, right? You're gonna nuke them. Okay, so we did $50 a day, but depending on your budget, you're going to need to test more or less than 10 videos at a time. Um, I found I we found out 10 was like kind of a middle ground and kind of the perfect for $50 a day, and it worked well for us, obviously, right? As you see the title and the other case study video, right? So we have your 10 ads, and what you want to do here is batch test a whole bunch of different angles, right? None are the same, none are similar. They're whole different angles that you want to test because you have no idea what works. You only know what's probable to work because you did the market research, or at least I hope you did, right? So from there, you have 10 different ad angles, right? And 10 different ads, okay? You're going to find out what works and more importantly, what doesn't really work, okay? From all different these ads, okay? So from there, you're going to find your winners, okay, which is great. You're gonna have one, two, three, or 5 different ones in this example, okay. And from there, you're going to iterate the winners, okay. So you're gonna have let's just say you have 5 winners, right? You could either have the same video, have the same image, and test different messaging, or have the same messaging, but you're gonna have different videos and images inside the the video itself or inside the ads, right? So to further go over this, you only really want to change one thing. Okay, depending on your offer, who you target, right, and how good the ad actually did. If it did really, really well, I'd say you would only want to change like one thing, like maybe like not go as drastic as changing the person talking in the video, changing the background. You don't really want to do those things. You want to change like one thing. You want to test like the hooks. You don't want to test the CTAs. You don't really want to test the entire whole message or the entire whole video, right? You want to keep those as similar as possible, okay? And really like from the ones who did okay, that's where you want to test like, made like bigger changes. Okay, so you only want to test one thing and iterate one thing, and that really goes for like business as a whole. Okay, iterations, with sales, like your sales script. If you want to change, how you pitch somebody, if it's not working well, it might work better if you pitch them like this, or answer objections like this. Change your tone, or ask them questions in a certain way. You know what I mean? So you're gonna find more winners after you do this, right? Iteration, iteration, iteration from the winners. Okay, and then ultimately you're gonna scale those, right? It's a pretty simple process once you understand how to do this, right? You're gonna find winners, you're gonna iterate what's working, and you're gonna keep scaling the ones that are working, right? You also have an option depending on your daily budget and how long you've been running these ads for, because you need an audience, like a decent amount of people to go to where you want them to go, to not but like to visit the landing page, to watch the VSL video, to apply, to not to apply. Really, you just want to retarget them so they're in your head, especially with cold traffic, because it's the first time they've seen you, right? And 9 times out of 10, they come through your funnel, they might click off. You know what I mean? So they're gonna see you once, twice, 3 times to make a decision to go in there, to watch your video, to fill out the application, and then to actually show up to the call, right? But there's multiple different steps on what you could do, and retargeting is one of them to, have the best probability for you to get them to where you want to go and accomplish the goal that you want to accomplish, right? So from the original ads, you're also gonna, you're gonna have your winners, right? You could just scale those. Okay, like it's very simple. You're gonna scale those, right? Because they're working. They're working really well. Okay, and from there, you're gonna iterate those again. So I already went over this. Change one thing, same, just make iterations of it. You can find more winners. You're gonna scale. Okay, and at the end of the day, you always, depending on budget, right, and how you want to do things, you always want to test new stuff, right? That the left field kind of stuff, that think out of the box type of thing. So if you have for example, you're a coach, right? You're a fitness coach, and your ideal client avatar, your Jimmy, is men between ages 25 to 45, right? They want to lose weight. They want to use 20, 30 pounds in 90 days, right? Very, very simple. Copy and paste offer. A lot of people, you might have already heard of, do, right? For busy, entrepreneurs, for busy businessmen, for guys in the 9 to 5 race, whatever, right? And you find your winning creatives are a lot of, you find similarities to them, right? It's you, it's a dude, you're pretty jacked. You got like a polo on, you're wearing some sophisticated stuff, and the background's in like a gym, right? But you want to be like, okay, so what if, based on what I already tested, what is more probable to work, right? Or just like, what do I want to test in general, right? Do I want to like walk down the street wearing a polo or a jumpsuit and just start jogging, and then, just make something up and then start talking to your demographic, right? Or just, left field stuff, right? You don't want to, make something that's not gonna be probable to convert, though, just to put that out there. Obviously, you want to make ads using the ideal client avatar and the market research that you got. Okay, so from those, obviously, you're gonna get some winners, or you're not gonna get any winners. You're just gonna keep iterating and making new stuff, right, all the time, right? It's just a process. Okay, now to keep it very simple and kind of close this off, you bulk. So you start out with market research, right? And you make your ads, and you bulk test as many ads as possible based on your ad spend budget, okay? Your daily budget, right? You find your winners, you scale them, and you start retargeting if you have the audience and the numbers and the people available for that, right? It's an option, okay? But if you're doing 50, 100, or more, $1,000 a day, $10,000 a day, you're going to want to incorporate retargeting within a few days, right? Depending on your budget, okay? But I digress. You're going to take the winners. You're going to iterate one thing, see if it works better for your goal you're trying to accomplish. If it doesn't, throw it out, right? Use the one and continue to scale the one that was working, okay? And you're just going to repeat, okay? Now, what's next, okay? If you want me to come into your business and do this for you, right, there's a link down in the description below. Let's hop on a call. Let's talk more about your business and see if it actually makes sense for me to help you and help you guys scale. I would love to talk to you more. All right, now I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you guys soon in the next one. See you.